So, welcome everyone. Today's our session is related to a discussion of one of the important terminology which is commonly used in developing countries, which is considered as a barrier for their growth and development. And this term is called bottlenecks. So, bottleneck is means that just like if you make a shape of a bottle, you find that if you're going trying to go out, the difficult part is the end of the part where you see that you can see the end of the tunnel, but the tunnel is narrow. So it means if you make a bottle like this, so it is narrow at the end. So you're trying to go out of the bottle and you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but the tunnel is getting narrower, so it is becoming difficult to get out. So it looks like a dead end, but it's not that dead end, but it's a difficult end. So bottlenecks means the difficulties or the dead ends that come in the way of future planning. Uh, so whenever they are trying to plan, what happens is some of the legal legal let me write it. So legal or or structural barriers come into the way. Okay. For example, just for the case of Pakistan, if we study the case of Imran Khan, he's trying to convict the money launderers and the corrupt people in the political system. But the issue is that it requires structural and legal reforms. But he do not have any majority in the parliament that can help him to create the reforms so that he can convict them. So in the current legal system, there are some what you call it, the loopholes that the current political parties can exploit to delay their conviction, and because of that, Pakistan is not being able to come out of this problem. Okay, so this example is a bottleneck for a country like Pakistan. So what they have to do is Pakistan have to come to a currently Pakistan have to come through ordinances. So in current situation, they have to make ordinance, and the ordinance are temporary. So they cannot they cannot create a major change in the economy towards good or maybe towards bad, because they don't have majority power in the parliament. So other general examples include that there is a lack of finance. We don't have any resources to create and the change or create a plan accordingly. Okay, so it looks like that when we were making CPAC, currently it only looks like it's just a road network, but you can see behind there's a future detailed plan. So Pakistan was not able to do it. CPAC and Gwadar not able to do it because of they don't have finances, even though it's just a road network. So you just uh, spend money to make a road, but it was so big network that we don't have expertise or we don't have finances to create that network. That's why we added China as a partner so that they can help us to build it as a partnership so that the bottleneck can be solved. Then in some cases, there are rigidities to adopt new techniques. So the old generation tends to rely on the technology or the mechanism that they learned. So they are rigid in adopting new technologies. For example, I have studied one case study for the case of WAPDA and this sui gas. They were trying to upgrade their system towards new program, new software. So they were working on in Excel sheets. I think now they wanted to go towards SQL software so that they can upgrade, or Python. so that their records can be managed properly, but their senior representatives are not willing to go there because they think they have to learn it, and it might cost them their luxury of life. So the rigidities of new techniques sometimes becomes a bottleneck in adopting new technologies or fulfilling the future plan. But luckily, countries like Pakistan has majority of youth population which are technology friendly. Okay, so this problem might be solved in coming few years when the youth will be going into the government jobs, or they are going into decisive positions in private sector. So they will be willing to challenge themselves and adopt new technologies, and that can help us breaking the bottlenecks. The third problem that is a type of a bottleneck is the cultural and religious limitations. Okay, so what does it mean is that when we study development economics, when we see the case studies in the history, they only talk about the Western countries. They were able to grow because they restricted religion to church only. So the religion was not taking part in the economic decisions. So they were able to divide and limitize the role of religion in their businesses because of their willingness to forego religion for the worldly life. So what happened is they were able to grow because the religious restrictions were not there to restrict them to develop. For example, even Bible says that sood is haram, or the interest rate is prohibited, but still they were able to create banks which were charging interest rates on their loans. So this is one example where they didn't follow the rules provided by their religion. So, but the case like Pakistan, it's not easy to separate religion or culture from the life because our religion is very integrated with our businesses, or the the dealing with the people. We call it hakukul ibad, and the term used is hakuk ul ibad, or it's fiqh ul muamalat. So these are two terms that are used for economics and Islam. So fiqhul mamlat means the rules related to muamalat, where people deal with people, muamalat. And then hukul ibad is the rights of humans with respect to humans. So both are important, and we cannot forego them. So the problem is that because of lack of knowledge of religion and economics, and lack of people who have both knowledge together, we are not able to create good plans that integrate our culture and religion. That's why mostly good plans are facing bottlenecks because of our religious issues. Okay, this is some um, the discussion on what is a bottleneck and some examples. So let's go towards some detail. So the problem with bottleneck is it's not like it's not it is not a general issue, so that we can just provide them the already existing solutions. So each bottleneck has to be focused individually, as they take human effort, time, and finances, hence economy is slowed down. So the problem is bottleneck, it is region specific, people specific, or problem specific. So each time when there is a bottleneck, they what economy need to do is they will make a committee we call it parliamentary committee, to find solutions. Parliamentary committee plus the stakeholders. Stakeholder mean the people who are relevant. For example, if it is religious, then we will talk about the the Muslim scholars, or the the Islamic Council of Pakistan. And if it is related to business, then we'll connect uh, with the Chamber of Commerce. And if it is related to students and education, we'll connect with the Education Ministry. If it is connected to health, then we'll connect it with doctors and health ministry. So each time when there is such problem, the parliament has to make a committee which will involve stakeholders, and then they will prepare a report, and that report will be presented in the parliament, and according to that, the solution will be drafted. And that solution's quality depends upon the sincereness and the knowledge of the people who are in the team. So if they are not technology friendly, if they are not country sincere, if they are corrupt in the background, and if they are the source of the problem, then they will never find a solution that will convict them. So this is a to and fro motion uh, between what you call it, between the parliamentary committee team and solutions officer. So you notice that if you see the reports, if you see study media, you will find that there were many reports created, formed, which were never published. Why? Because they were had. So they were never published because it was implicating the current government, or it was implicating any high stakeholder people. Okay, so the government tried to hide it so that they avoid the defamation, and so the problem you understood here is that the bottlenecks were not because of the economic issue; it can be because of political issue. And the parliament, which is currently, they are also the stakeholders of the economy because they had businesses at the background. They had monopoly power in the industry. So what happened is that they might be the source of the problem. So whenever there's a problem, even if the government president is sincere, then he will make a parliamentary committee. Even if the parliamentary committee is sincere, it depends upon the knowledge and skills and ability of them to create a solution, and then the quality of solution will be judged because of that. And still, after that, they have to make legislation. For that, they require the majority in the parliament, and then when there is legislation, then um, there will be change in the economy, and that will take time. That's why economies are slowed down because of this process. In developing countries, most of the profitable sectors are captured by MNCs, and they have the property rights. So Pakistan was inviting MNCs originally, and they were giving them property and copyrights. So what happened is that the problems originated are now cannot be solved because we are giving them property rights. So the damage is already done, and you cannot punish MNCs because you are giving them property rights. So the examples include the cement industry, or the coke the industry of soft drinks, where what they are doing is they are at the industry of mineral water. Let me write it quickly. Water, that they are using land water, underground water for free, and they are selling that to the public. So they are creating a loss to the country, that They are not paying the actual amount of the water being used, and they are destroying the ecosystem where the factory is created, and they are selling it on a price. Okay, so this is the problem. Secondly, other examples include the rental power projects that we give them the upper hand that no matter you produce electricity or not, we will pay you for your capacity. So what happened was that Pakistan didn't require that electricity, but still they had to pay for it. So that's why there was uh, a problem that led to high prices of electricity in Pakistan. Now, this government is trying to renegotiate the contract so that the cost will come down, but the renegotiation depends upon their agreement to do it. Otherwise, they will go away. So, it will sort out slowly. There are some trade restrictions as well because of the political relation. These constitute as barrier to development. So Pakistan was trying to create the sui gas trade and between Iran and Pakistan, but the America didn't allow them. So this contract was delayed. So that gas was from Pakistan should have gone to Central Asian countries, but because of the limitation by international organization, uh, we were not able to fulfill that contract. Other examples include the F-16 planes that America didn't give us, but they charged us for their parking in their airports. Other agreements, there are many other examples where the trade restrictions are hurting developing countries. So these are some detailed discussion of how bottlenecks hurt a country.